Hello, I'm Evan with New Life for Old Bikes. In this episode, we're going to be changing the grip shifters on a Roadmaster Adventures hybrid bike. This will also work on most mountain bikes. First, I wanted to show you the condition of the existing shifter. The shifter is actually coming apart. And what happened is I replaced the cable in this about a month ago, but unfortunately the cheaper shifters don't hold up real well and they come apart, which is what happened with this one. So at this point I'll be replacing it. My recommendation would be, if you have to replace the cables on one of the lesser expensive grip shifters, just go ahead and replace the shifter as well. They're not very expensive. Before we start, make sure you shift the bike to the smallest cog on the gear set. Next, loosen the binder nut on the derailleur. Once you've done that, we need to remove the crimp end on the cable, and it will pull right out. Next, we need to do the same thing on the front derailleur. The front chainring is already in the lowest gear, so we just need to unbolt the binder nut and cut off the crimp end. This takes a 9mm, but you could use a crescent or adjustable wrench for this project as well. Next, we're going to remove the grips. This bike is fairly easy to remove, but if I were to have a problem, I would simply slide a wire tie underneath the grip and pour a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it. It would slide right off after that. Next, remove the grip on the other side. Again, if this was really hard, I would use the zip tie and rubbing alcohol method to remove it. On each side behind the grip is a plastic washer. Remove and save that. Next, the grip shifter is held on with a 2.5mm Allen wrench. You'll have to slide it in the hole and turn it to remove it, and the shifter should slide right off the bike. At this point, you can simply pull the cable on through. At this point, I'm going to do the other side. I'm removing the washer and using the same 2.5mm Allen wrench to remove the shifter on this side. Slide it off and pull the cable on through. New shifters come with the cable pre-installed, which is very convenient. Just make sure you get the correct side. I'm working on the right side of the bike right now, which is the drive side, and the 6-speed shifter is for the back derailleur. Slide it on where the old one was, and use your Allen wrench to tighten it up. Next, uncoil the cable. Make sure you don't kink the cable. Once you have the cable uncoiled, take your old cable housing, measure for length, and go ahead and wipe a thin layer of grease on the cable. The purpose of this grease is not for lubrication, it's to prevent moisture from getting into the cable. Once you've lubricated your cable, slide it through the cable housing. Once I have the cable in place, there's a lug or grommet that's welded to the frame. All I have to do is slide this in. This particular bike also has a cable guide under the bottom bracket or crank, and I need to just slide it through that cable guide. Next, measure the back section of cable and make sure there's a little bit of grease on that. Then slide the cable through the cable housing. Slide it through the barrel adjuster on the back of the derailleur. And last, slide it into the cable clamp. Pull it snug and tighten the cable clamp. A little loose. There we go. Better. Next, we're going to test this and verify that it works. Okay, we're in business. Let's cut the cable off. Leave about 1.5 inches. After cutting the cable, I'm adding a cable crimp to the end. This is just simply to prevent the cable from fraying. Next, I'm installing the shifter on the left side of the handlebar. This is the non-drive side and works the front derailleur. I'm going to slide it on. And again, using my 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench, I'm going to tighten it. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and slide my plastic washer on both sides of the handlebar. Then we're going to see if I can get this cable unwrapped without tangling it like I did the last one. Let's measure the length of this cable housing and add a little grease to this cable. Again, you don't need much on here. The only thing this is doing is serving to prevent it from rusting and corroding. There we go. And let's slide the cable housing onto the cable. Once we have it in, we'll slide it through the grommet in the frame. And then there's the same cable guide underneath will also work for this cable. Just pull it on through. Now we're going to pull it tight and slide it in behind the cable clamp. This particular cable clamp also takes a 9 millimeter, and we need to make sure it's snug. There we go. All right. Now we just need to test this. We're in business. At this point, I'm going to cut it off about 1 inch or 1.5 inches above the derailleur and put on a crimp end. All right. There we go. There we go. Done. Let's install the grips on this and call it done. There we go. There's one. There we go. Very good. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And don't forget, like and subscribe.